everyone, my name's Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thank you so much for joining me today for Flosstube 84. I'm pretty sure it's 84. I did just look, but now I'm like questioning myself. Anyway, it's been a week and a half since I posted a video, and it's been 2 weeks since I posted a Flosstube. So I have a little bit of stitching to show you, and I have a bit of haul to show you, and I have a giveaway winner to talk about. I have some life updates, so I hope that you will stick around and, you know, hang out with me for the next however long this is going to take to talk through all these things and enjoy what you see. But before we get to any of that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. I've hit over 1250, but what I noticed is that when I don't post videos for a while, I get kind of a little bump in subscribers, and then I post a video and they all run away. So thank you to the survivors who have stuck with me. I appreciate it. But I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thanks for joining me on my crafty and artistic adventures, and welcome back to everyone who's been hanging out with me for so long. I really appreciate you. It's been great to get to know you in the comments here on YouTube and also on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, you can find me in two places. My normal kind of stitching, daily life kind of thing that I usually post daily, but it's just been so busy. It's been a couple times a week, 3 or 4 times a week, is Dr._Christy. They'll both have been right here. And that's, you know, like I said, post my dog and whatever. The other one is the Spoolery, and that's where I post pictures of my obsession, delight with vintage wooden spools and other kind of vintage sewing paraphernalia. And in fact, I recently bought, it hasn't gotten here yet, but I splurged and bought some vintage fabric that I can't wait to show you. Hopefully it'll get here by next video. But I also post my weavings because I include sort of vintage spindles and stuff in my weavings. And I just really love sort of old stuff. I mean, I'm a historian, so, you know, I kind of would. You can follow me in either one of those places if you want to see what I'm up to. This is the channel about embroidery and cross stitch and weaving and other textile crafts and history and the history of all of those things. So if any of that is interesting to you and you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. I just want to right off the bat do the giveaway. A couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think, I announced 2 giveaways. I think it was in episode 82. I'll post that video up here because one of the giveaways is ending today and one of them keeps going. The first giveaway was for a digital copy of my knickknack expansion pack, and this is what this is what it looks like. And I have that all pulled up on my iPad for the random comment picker. There were, you had to say the word knickknack in that video. There were 18 unique comments. And so let's see, oops, who wins? And it's Sarah King from our Stitching Kingdom. So Sarah, I don't know that I have your email address. So if you could shoot me a message on Instagram, give me your email address, and I will send the knickknack expansion pack out to you. So, but thank you everyone for commenting. I really appreciate it. And congratulations, Sarah, on winning. I do have another giveaway happening. My 2-year Flosstube anniversary, 2 years, is on August 14th, which is next Sunday, right? A week from tomorrow. So I'm going to do a video on Sunday. My Flosstube's going to be on Sunday, and I'm going to do 2 giveaways. And they're kind of just going to be random things I've collected to do giveaways, but they're going to be like nice, big, chunky packages that I will send out anywhere in the world. Go back to that video that I posted before. I think it's Flosstube 82, and you can find all the information about that giveaway because that will be happening next Sunday. Those are my 2 giveaways. Congratulations, Sarah. Please, you know, shoot me a message. And let's get into the stitching. So I do have a fully finished object. I posted it on Instagram, and I'm super excited. It's small, but mighty. And it is my dragon fruit stitched on my handkerchief. And those of you who've been with me for a while know that I really like using handkerchiefs. I did a whole video on how I fold my handkerchiefs so that they're not gross. I'll put that up here. And I was approached by, I think it's basically a marketing company, essentially, on behalf of an embroidery artist whom I follow on Instagram. She's a, you know, women-owned small business, to try out some of her peel, stick, and stitch patterns. And I chose mushrooms, fruit, and landscapes. And so this is one of the fruits, and this is my 3rd fruit, and I did them on handkerchiefs because I love handkerchiefs. And I did a review of these patterns, and I'll put that up here if you want to check that out. They were gifted to me to review, so you can check that review out there. But anyway, this is one that I had planned out and hadn't finished. I love dragon fruit. I think they're the prettiest fruit. I mean, you know, they are very aesthetically pleasing. I don't know that they're the most delicious fruit. They're good enough, but they're very beautiful. So I did that. And I had planned on stitching it like super realistic with needle painting, like, which is like shade, like silk shading and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be blowing my nose with this. I think I need to relax. So what I ended up doing was I think I just did a back stitch. Yeah. So I just did a back stitch in 4 different colors. There's a kind of green, a yellow green, a yellow, a hot pink, and then I did a black in the middle. None of the white stitched, and I love it. So I'm going to iron this and put it in my handkerchief basket because I use handkerchiefs. So that's my fully finished object. The nice thing about about doing stitches like this is that because it's already fully finished, I just had to stitch it. Once like it's a finished object, it's also a fully finished object. It's like when people stitch on like pre-made bags and stuff. It's just like, oh, that's an FO and an FFO at the same time. And I love it. So that is my only finished object of the week. I have 3 works in progress, and I am excited to show them to you, which is weird, but I'm excited to show them to you. Honestly, I'm super excited to be talking to you all today because it's been a busy week for me with my new job, and I wanted to film last weekend, but I was traveling and then like collapsing from traveling, and I've missed you all so very much. So I'm happy to be here. The 3 projects are ones, ooh, one of them I don't know, you've seen it stitched. I don't think, one of them is, I'm going to call it another new start, even though I already called it a new start. We'll start with that one. So I've already called this one a new start. This is an embroidery, and this is an embroidery. I'm so excited I can't talk. And in embroidery, you draw the pattern on the fabric. So when I drew the pattern on the fabric, I counted it as a new start. And now that I've started stitching, I'm counting it as a new start again. This is my stitching journey. I can do whatever I want. So, as you know, those of you who've been with me and those of you who are new, I'm in the middle of an embroidery series of famous fictional sleuths. So I have been designing and stitching just kind of simple embroidery patterns of fictional sleuths, both TV and book. And if they're book, they're TV versions of the book. So the first one, the one I just finished a couple weeks ago, was Sherlock Holmes. And this is the Jeremy Brett version. Jeremy Brett portrayed Sherlock Holmes in the 80s. He was so good. I think the best Sherlock Holmes, and I will fight for that. The next one was Hercule Poirot, and this is the David Suchet version. Agatha Christie's Poirot. And then finally, Phryne Fisher, and I'm sure this is from a book series, but I don't know what that book series is. I just know it from Miss Fisher's Mysteries, which is an Australian-based sleuth series, and it takes place in the 20s, and she's so glamorous, and I totally want to be Phryne Fisher. She's so glamorous. And the clothing in that show. If you are a fan of like period clothing in television, Miss Fisher's Mysteries is like the place to go. Apparently, and I have no proof for this, I just heard it on the internet, so take it for what it is. But apparently they did like a call throughout like all of Australia for the hats that people had in their attics from like the 20s that like their grandparents kept and stuff like that. Anyway, sorry, I'm folding this, which is why I'm like kind of distracted. Anyway, those are my 3 finished sleuths. And my new start sleuth is Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote. So I love how it turned out. I was questioning about this having her face, because none of the other ones have like the outline of the face. But, and I talked about this last time when I showed the drawing. And a lot of you pointed out that like she has a very particular face shape, right? And I don't know that it would be so as obvious that it's her without the face shape. So like Ilanka, for example, from Stitch Ilanka, made this point, and I think that you all are right. So I've decided to keep it. What I need to do next is kind of look at my over here, my wall of floss, and pick a good color, like a pinky peachy color for her face, because I'm doing a limited color palette, and I'm going to do her hair in this color, which is the color I use for Franny Fisher's hand. But I think that's too dark. Like, I don't want to use the same for her hair and her face. So I think this is going to be her hair, and then I'll find a pinky peach for her face. And I think that that will work out great. The colors I'm using are, they're just from my stash, right? You know, you collect these colors for this purpose. I'm using Color and Cotton Peanut, which is the one I just showed. Dyeing for Cross Stitch Smoke is the gray I've been using. Color and Cotton Golden Ale is the gold. I think her glasses are going to be gold. Color and Cotton Tusk is the color of her collar. So see, she has a collar on her shirt. It's hard to see, but it is stitched. Those lines are stitched. And the black I'm using is Color and Cotton Rustic Black, which is a black gray variegated, very slight variegation. It's a tonal. And then I'm using two silks. I'm using, and they're both Be Stitch Me, Sangria, which is what I did her sweater in, because she's wearing a cardigan. And in the reference image for this, she's wearing a blue cardigan, but I decided I wanted to use maroon. You know, it's a color I could see her wearing, and limited color palette. That's my goal, so that they all kind of go together. And then I'm using a red, which is Red Barn. So those are the colors, and these are all being stitched on a cotton linen blend that's called Essex Linen that I got from Fat Quarter Shop. And I bought a whole bunch of it, and so I figured that it's good for this. It's basically my favorite thing to stitch on, or one of my favorite things to stitch on, definitely. I have two more after this. I have Miss Marple, which is the Joan Hickson version, and I have Columbo from Columbo, which is just the Peter Falk version. So that's my first whip and my new start. My second whip is housed in this, and it is my temperature drinks shelf, and I did a good bit of work on it. It's been warm, very warm. And I am almost done with July. Almost done filling in the drinks for July. I have not filled in, like, all of these drinks that aren't filled in are, I think, the same color. And that is 96, 97 to 99. And I don't have that in here. It was like hiding in the bottom because I basically stole it from my HAED, which I'll talk about in a second. So I didn't fill those in because I couldn't find it, but I found it today. So I will fill those in today or tomorrow, and then keep on going. And this is stitched on 14 count navy Aida, just from Joann Fabrics, just in like DMC in the tube, you know, nothing special. And I'm stitching it 2/1 full cross in the called for colors. So this is the second one that I've done. This is the one, this is the bookshelf I did last year, an embroidery version. And you'll notice that everything is much brighter. There's a lot more yellow. There's like no red, no dark red. Apparently last year was very cool. And so when I organized my colors for this year, I basically made them cooler, right? I made like my top colors in the mid 90s as opposed to this one, which my top colors were 100 plus. Well, this summer, as you all know, has been like brutal. So I'm not nearly as bright as I had hoped. And I think in the end it'll look fine, but it's just kind of very beige and brown in June and July, which is too bad. I'm hoping we have a cooler August that has a bunch of yellows, like, you know, May. Look at May. This is May here. Like, May is so pretty and poppy. I love it. So I'm hoping that we get back into those nice bright colors again, so I have a nice rainbow. And I think we will eventually, obviously, because winter will come. Even with climate change, winter still comes. And I think that it'll all blend in, especially when I have the knickknacks and stuff. I think that'll be really good. So that is my temperature drink shelf. And if you are interested in stitching it, you can find it in my Etsy shop, which is linked down below. You can also find my knickknack expansion pack in the link down below, and you can find my other temperature patterns like the library and the space invaders down below. I think I will put pictures of them up here so you can see what I'm talking about. And I have a new one that I've been working on. I had hoped to have it released on Monday, like last Monday, but that didn't happen. But it is about 40% charted, and it's just me sitting down and like doing it, because with temperature patterns it's a little bit repetitive when you're like charting it, but it needs to all fit, and it needs to like make sense and not look too anyway. But I wanted to give you a little sneak peek since I've been kind of teasing you with my idea. It's both a little creepy, I think, and also I think super fun. So I wanted to do a temperature pattern that was birds on wire, like electric wire, like my brain's not working, you know, like wires on poles, right? Wires going through. And so I started designing it, and this is a little sneak peek of the design and one of the knickknacks, which is a pair of hanging sneakers. I'm really excited about this. I think this is super fun. It is, I'm charting it in 2 colors. So if you want to do a high and low, it's set for that. And you can do a high and a low. If you want to do it all one color, you can do that as well. But I know that a lot of people are interested in highs and lows. And so this way you just have these like ridiculously colored birds. And I kind of love it. It is slightly Alfred Hitchcock when you see like the whole thing. It's a lot of birds. But I do have a little fun surprise for Halloween that I hope that you will love. So I'm going to hope to get this out. Well, my goal is to get it out by September 1st. I would like to get it out before that, but if I don't, that's okay. As I mentioned before, I started a new job, and so that's kind of taking precedence. But it'll be fun when it comes out, and I'm really excited. And I hope that you all like it too. I do plan on doing another bookcase. I know everyone loves the bookcases, and I love the bookcases too. And I do eventually mean to re-pick up my 365 stitch project. It's just that with going back into the classroom and COVID and this new job and the world, it was just kind of one thing too much for me. And it might just be that I work on it and not film it. And that's okay too. And that may be what ends up happening, because I do really want to have like this sampler of stitches. Hold on, let me get it and show you what I'm talking about. So one of my big projects, for those of you who are new, one of my big projects this year was going to be the temperature bookcase, the embroidery version, because I did an embroidery and a cross stitch version. But I want to do the embroidery version and do each book in a different stitch. And I only got halfway through January. And that's when my classes started in the spring, and it just got too much. But I love the idea so much, and I love the challenge so much. So I might just do it and show you my progress and just take pictures and not do the videos of it. Because it was the videos. The videos are basically what stopped me from doing it. I wanted to film like little snippet videos, but those snippet videos take hours to edit and make into snippets, you know, or at least take time. And I have to stitch it out here instead of in my comfy chair because I need to have like my whole filming set up. Maybe I'll just take it into the house and just work on it. Well, I will take it into the house, and then it will be available when I want to work on it. So that's good. Thank you so much all for working through that with me. I appreciate it very much. My final whip that I want to show you is the one that you all know and love. It is my Heaven and Earth design, Lady and the Unicorn, and I am a little bit behind. I'm not a ton behind. In fact, I didn't check. I've not been using my stitching journal at all, and I haven't checked, but I have been making progress. I have been making progress. And so here is where I am. And if I can find a picture of where I was, I'll put it right here, right next to it. And so what I've been working on a lot is this flag. It seems that what works for me with this project is finding a motif and just like going to town on it. That's kind of what seems to be working. So I've been working on this flag. I will have already put up what it looks like, but here's a picture of it again, and you can see the flag right here. And I've also been filling in a bit down here, and I'm almost filled in this corner, which is really exciting. Yeah. So I'm pretty pleased with this. I think I'm at about 11.25%. 25 or 26,000 stitches is where I am right now. So my goal for this is 5 years, which means it's 227,000 stitches. And so that means that I think I need to do about 45,000 stitches a year on this, which is 125 stitches a day. Now, I had been really good about that all of June and the beginning of July, and then I went away. And I just did not have the stitchy time that I hoped I would. It just didn't happen. So I'm a little bit behind, but I think that'll be okay. I can catch up. Or it takes me 5.5 years. I mean, I set all these goals, like, I make these rules myself, right? Like, I'm very strict with myself. And I think I kind of have to be, like, in my job, like getting a PhD, like you have to like set your own goals and actually stick to them. And now I'm a little bit over, like I do it a little like, oh, too much. Like I'm too rigid with my goals and too rigid with plans that I make that don't really matter, right? I mean, if I do this in 5 years or 5.5 years, it doesn't matter. So I need to just keep telling myself and chill the F out. Let me tell you, I have no chill. This is being stitched on a 20 count ivory Aida that I won. Well, I won a gift card for Carrie from Carrie and Stitch's 1,000 subscriber giveaway to 123 Stitch. And so I used most of that. Well, I used all of that to buy most of this, I guess is what I'm going to say. And then I am slowly buying the flosses as I need them. And in fact, I'm going to do a little call out because I need your help. I participated in the floss drop swap, which I don't think that's what it's called, but that's what I call it, the floss drop swap, where people made floss drops and sent them out all over the world. And I made creepy babies that nobody wanted because they were really creepy. I have tons of these creepy babies. If I can find a picture, I'll put it right here. And my plan was to take these and use them as the floss drops for my HAED stitching. So that way, for 5 or 5.5 or 6 years, I could like look at things Stitchy friends gave me. And that just, to me, is so joyful. But I only have this many left. So if you participated, if you made floss drops and you have any left, and you didn't send them to me, or even if you did send them to me, I would love to have them. And if you want creepy babies, I would love to send you creepy babies. In fact, I think I'm sending creepy baby floss drops in every single giveaway I do from now on, so just be warned. And every single physical giveaway I do. So yeah, if you have made floss drops and would be willing to send me some, I would love to have them. Just contact me on Instagram and I will, give you my address, and This is a call. This is a call out, a call for floss drops from people I care about. And people who care about me. And that's, I would love it, please. So that's my request, so that I can continue to enjoy them and use them and love them and think about you all as I'm stitching my Heaven and Earth design. That, my friends, is the last of my whips. And this is housed in my thriller bag that I got from Jody at Trixie Tricycle, who I think she posted a video while I was away and I haven't watched it. I'm so far behind on my Flosstube. I also did not have time. I did not have the space to watch Flosstube while I was away. So I'm kind of working my way back. So I'm watching sort of everyone's most recent ones and then working backwards. So I think Jody posted one while I was away that I have to watch. Anyway, I love it. It's humongo. It's great. That is my whips. That's all my stitching. I do want to talk about a plan. My plan is, of course, to work on all of the things that I've shown you. I'm going to pick out a color right behind me as soon as I'm done filming for Jessica Fletcher's face. But I did want to talk about a project that I should have been working on, but was not working on and needs to start working on. And that is my anniversary, my wedding anniversary piece. My wedding anniversary piece is Modern Folk Embroidery's The River. I got this from a Black Needle Society box back in like November. I started it on January 1st. And some of you had asked where you could find it. And I think that Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery posted that this is now available on his website. So if you are interested in stitching The River, I think you can get it now. But what I plan on doing is splitting these two boxes here and putting my name and my husband's name and our wedding date on this, and then hanging it on our wall. I'm going to show you where I am because it's not very far. I'm stitching this. Oh, I did. What? Oh, God. Okay, so backtrack. Before I talk about where it's from, I kept saying to myself, I need to photocopy it because I want a working copy, because I need to highlight it. And I'm like, but then I never did. Apparently I did. I didn't realize it. That's how long it's been since I've opened this. So I'm stitching this on a very special piece of Aida that I dyed, essentially. And it is, I think it's a 16 count. 16 or 18 count. I'm not one of those people who can just tell. And I used an old photography technique called Cyanotype to dye this. And the print on it is from a piece of lace that were part of a gift, a part of a wedding gift I got. And I just loved it so much that I wanted to make it like a part of this. And it's blue, and I love blue, so that works. And I'm doing this in a gold silk from DeVere Yarns. Well, I'm very red. Whew. It was very red there for a second. I'm doing it in, I think it's called Old Gold. Yeah. I'm doing it in Old Gold, which is in 72 weight silk, which is a 12 strand silk in Old Gold. I'm using 4 strands because they're very small, and I have just done these lines. Now, I'm terrible at counting, and I did not want to grid this because the gridding doesn't always go away. Back to Alonka from Stitchylanka, she had a kind of disaster with a friction pen, and it came back. And so I try to only use friction pens when I'm going to be stitching over them, or when I don't really care if they come back. But this, I care if it comes back. I can't use a water-soluble pen because this is silk and I don't want to put it in water. So I think I counted this 4 times. 4 times. I should have just started with the actual text, like that A, and gone from there, but I didn't. So my plan is to work on this month. The other reason why I haven't worked on it, and I'm sure I've talked about this before, but we all have stress behaviors. So behaviors that we do when we stress. Some of us eat, eat when we're stressed. Some of us jog when we're stressed. Some of us punch walls. I don't know. But what I do is I chew on the skin around my fingers. And it's my cuticles, and also so on this finger, for example, I can actually peel the skin off down to there. So this is all calloused right here, and I can tell that it ends right there. And that's below my first knuckle. So I've been doing this for so long, and I can do that on a lot of my fingers, that my skin is just very rough all the time from that activity. And the past 2 years in particular have been incredibly stressful for me, and I think for everybody. And so my fingers were always rough, and there was no way to smooth them. It's not that they were dry, it's that I had ripped them apart with my teeth, literally, right? So it's difficult to stitch. Those of you who have stitched with silk know that it's difficult to stitch with silk without really smooth, soft hands, because every little tiny hangnail or callus or whatever, that silk will just stick to it, and it'll just pull it all out of shape, and it's not fun. So that's part of the reason why I hadn't been stitching on it. But I stopped eating my fingers June 1st. On June 1st, I went away for a week and a half for work, and it's the kind of work that takes a lot of mental energy but isn't stressful. And I was wearing a mask the whole time, so I couldn't eat my fingers. So my fingers looked really good. And then I thought, well, why don't I just make this when I stop doing it, right? I've already stopped doing it for 9 days. Let's continue to not do it. So I haven't really eaten my fingers since June 1st. So we're over 2 months now, which is huge. I did this happened similarly in the summer of 2020 when we didn't know how COVID was spread, and we were I don't know about you, but I was wiping down my mail, my boxes with my groceries with bleach wipes, right? When we didn't know how it spread. But then once we realized that washing your hands was enough and it's an aerosol disease, then I got super stressed about classes again. Then I kind of started doing it again. So anyway, my fingers are the nicest that they've been in a very long time. 2 years at this point. And I want to take advantage of that. I've been taking advantage of it by doing my nails. I do my nails. And then I want to take advantage of it by working on that project. I don't think it'll be done by my first anniversary, which is on September 5th. But I at least want to get some headway. And my goal can be our 10-year anniversary, right? There's no, again, I do it to myself. I make all my own rules and dates. It got very quiet in here. The air conditioner turned off. So I feel like I'm shouting. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to start working on that. And yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to start working on that some more. And I've decided that when I'm done with my sleuth series, I'm going to do a Golden Girls series, because who doesn't love the Golden Girls? They're amazing. All right, that's all my stitchy show and tell that I have. I do have some haul, some stitchy haul, but it's essentially I went to Joann and Michael's, but I'm going to show it to you anyway because I thought you might I'm going to show some of it to you, not all of it. I thought you might like to see it. I don't have a Joann Fabrics near me, and my Michael's is small. So being able to go to larger metropolitan areas and go to their stores is really kind of fun because, so I showed the last video I had gone to one by my mom's house. And then in this video, Joann Fabrics. And in this video, I'm going to show you what I got when I went to the Joann Fabrics by my dad's house. And also a little bit of Michael's. No, I don't think I have anything to show you from Michael's. And then I have some found objects I want to show you that I want to craft with. And then I have something from Color and Cotton. So that's where we are. I'm going to show you my found objects first. So as some of you might know, while I was visiting my family from like in the last 2 weeks of July, I also spent some time with friends at the beach near Atlantic City, New Jersey. And I found all these shells with holes in them. And I have a saying that you can embroider in anything with that you can get your needle through. And so I want to play around with, you know, fiber art in holy old shells. Here's a picture of what they look like. They're kind of just laid out on my dining room table. I wanted to wash them, and I'm going to wash them again just because, you know, they're full of sand and stuff. And they're still kind of dripping sand. But I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I just think that they're beautiful, and I want to stitch on them. So that's the one thing I got, or picked up, rather. The second thing I picked up in a similar vein are amazingly lacy dead leaves. So what I want to do with these is flatten them so they're really flat, and then do some printing, some cyanotype printing on fabric or paper or whatever with them, but also preserve them. I bought some Mod Podge matte spray, acrylic spray. I think it's acrylic spray. I can't read it, it's too far away, but that'll help kind of preserve it, and then stitch them onto the fabric that I then have printed with them. Anyway, I have these ideas. I have these art ideas that, you know, I always have art ideas. I just really love coming up with ideas of things to do. So yeah. So that is what I picked up. I also picked up some cicada wings. I also have this idea that I want to embroider some cicadas, some like life-size cicadas, really detailed with like silks and stuff, and then attach actual real wings. And the wings are ones that I just pick up. I don't detach them from either live cicadas or dead cicadas. I just pick them up off the side of the walk when I find them, just lying there. So I found two one today and one yesterday. So that was kind of fun. It's cicada dying season here, so they're kind of everywhere. So I'm kind of keeping an eye out when I see a carcass, and the next time I walk by there, I see if there's a wing. I got a not quite happy mail, happy delivery. My mom, who is Flame and Fiber podcast, has a knitting podcast, and she is friends with Chevis from Chevy Will Stuff, and introduced me to Chevis from Chevy Will Stuff, and now she's my friend. And my mom went to a sheep and wool festival, and Chevis was there, and she picked me up a coaster from Chevis. So I have a Grab Yo Drank coaster. You may recognize Grab Yo Drank because my drinks shelf was inspired by Chevis and my mom, and just I with permission used Chevis's tagline as one of the options for the sign at the top. So I wanted to show you that too, which was very nice. So thank you, Chevis, and thank you, Mom. So I got some Color and Cotton even weave grab bags. I think I got two. I kind of want to learn how to stitch on even weave, and this is another call for help because I tried stitching on even weave before, and my stitches looked 1/1 because I want to do some tiny stitching. I have some tiny stitching plans that I'll talk about later on in the year. And Aida isn't small enough for the plans that I have. So I need to learn how to stitch on even weave, but my stitches look terrible. So like, does anyone know of any even weave stitching instruction videos to show me how to make my stitch not look terrible? Any thoughts on that? Basically, like, they pull differently based on how the weave, like where I am on the warp and the weft. Anyway, so if you have any suggestions on tutorials or YouTube videos talking about stitching on even weave, I would really appreciate it. So let's talk about my Color and Cotton grab bags. Now, I don't know what they are, and I don't know what count they are, but I have this beige, and then I have this other beige, two beiges. So I'm going to put them together so you can see they are actually a little bit different. This, you can kind of see it. This one over here is slightly yellower. Yeah, it's like a warmer. This is a warmer beige than this. So I got two beiges. I got like a violety periwinkle blue. More violety, I think. I got a purpley pink, and it's pinker than what you're seeing on your screen. A slightly mottled light green, which would be great for kind of an earthy thing. And then a darker green. So those are my coloring cotton grab bag purchases. And then I have a bucket. I got this bucket on clearance from Michael's. It's going to be my trash can in my office, and in my office here, in my stitchy room here. And there's my dragon fruit, which I love. I also bought a second one for my office at work. But I just kind of want to show you the things that I got. There's not that much in here. I had mentioned before that I had bought a magnifying glass, portable magnifying glass, to put around my neck so that I could stitch my HAED and other stitching too. My eyes aren't very good, so I use a magnifying glass all the time. I'd gotten a Dritz from Walmart or something, and the lens distorted the image so much I actually stitched better just trying to see it with my glassed eyes, right? So I ended up at Joann's. This was on sale. I got an light version. So much better. It was not me, right? It was, that lens was terrible. And I was thinking that I would then do a giveaway of the other one, but I threw it away because if I can't see through it, no one can see through it. I mean, maybe someone else would see through it, but I got this one. I like it much better. I don't need to use it at home. It's more of an on-the-go stitching, but I'm glad that I have it. I also got, this is just on clearance. This is a Happy Planner Crafty Miss Maker. And so it comes with a little pouch. I don't know if you can see it. It has scissors and sewing stuff and macrame and painting. So like basically just like crafting and art. And I haven't looked through everything that's in it yet, but I can put this in my Happy Planner. And maybe then I'll start using my Happy Planner again because I need to start planning again. So I got that. That was from Joann's. I got some fabric that I want to show you. And then that's it. I got this, which is pleather, but it has very even holes in it. And I thought that this would be a really fun thing to like cross stitch a design on and then turn into a bag. I thought that would be, whether it's a project bag or like a handbag or a vest. I think I only have a yard though, so I have to be careful about it. So anyway, I got this just for fun. It was on clearance. I almost only get things on clearance. I got this, which is a canvas, a thick canvas that I thought would make a nice project bag. And it's really pretty. I got a bunch of yards of this. This is a linen blend. And I thought that it would make a cute dress at some point when I feel like making my own clothes again. And then I got some remnants. I love remnants. This is a gray gingham. This is a canvas, which looks like a kind of a camouflagey canvas, but in white, like a cream and a gray. And then I got a black, this is a linen. This is a brown, black. This is a brown cotton linen blend that I just thought was a nice neutral. So that is what I purchased, which, oh, and then how could I forget? I got this other ridiculous fabric. It was on clearance. I think this was like $13. It was like half off, more than half off. But I got a yard of it. Isn't that amazing? I think it's going to be a project bag or a bunch of project bags when I, when I get to making project bags again. Which I have to do because I don't know if you saw my sleuth series, but that's pathetic. If you were to see all the fabrics I have to make project bags out of, there's no reason for this nonsense. Anywho, so that's all of the stitching content. This is going to be a long episode apparently, which you have already seen, so I don't need to warn you. You know how long it is before I do. So that's all my stitching content. And if you want to peace out, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to be back with, I will be back with an Embroidery 101 class on Tuesday. And then a Flosstube next Sunday for my 2-year Flosstube anniversary. Those of you who want to stay and hear what I've been up to in my life, welcome. It's been a bit of a ride. So I was visiting my family. Those of you who are new, I live in Mississippi in the southern United States, but I'm from the Northeast between Philadelphia and New York. That's where I'm from, in New Jersey. And so I went and visited my family. I get to visit them twice a year. I'm a college professor, and so I visit them on breaks only unless there's like a special occasion. So I went to visit them for my semi-annual visit, and it's far. I drive, and this year I brought my dog with me. My husband stayed home. He had to work, so it was just like me traveling with the dog, and it was a lot. He's a really good traveler. He's a really good dog, but it's just, it's a lot. So I had a good time. It was really nice to see my family. It was nice to see my friends. I had a great time at the beach. If you want to see a picture of the beach where I was hanging out, or a video, I'll put that up here. That's where I was hanging out with my friends outside of Atlantic City. But it wasn't relaxing at all. I was hoping that when I was like at the beach with middle-aged, like there were 7 40-something-year-olds in a condo at the beach, I'm like, surely we're gonna be lazy and just like sit around at the pool or the beach all day. Oh no, they were party animals. Like what? Like who do they think they are? I got no sleep. Like I was so tired, so tired, so tired. But I had a great time there. I had a great time with my family. It was just so nice to see them. I really miss them during the year, and I just feel like I missed out on so much, but it was really nice to see them. I saw my sister and her boyfriend, and I saw all of my parents. It was just really nice. So it was nice to see them. And then I drove back Friday, and I don't know what went on with that drive, but I drove straight out. It was like 17 and a half hours. I drove from my house to my mom's house. I like driving and I like road trips, and I had an audiobook and I was fine. The way back was from my dad's house, who lives like 2 hours further from me. And man, those 2 hours killed me. So I ended up stopping at, 10 that night. Like I had driven like 13 hours and it was 10 o'clock and I was exhausted and it had been pouring rain. It was just not very pleasant. So I stopped at like a La Quinta or something. It was super expensive, like way more expensive than normal, but I had to stop. And yeah. And then I got home Saturday, like a week ago today. Got home Saturday, noonish, lunchish, and I just kind of collapsed all day. Like I didn't do anything. I had hoped that I could film a Flosstube last weekend, and I just was not. It was not happening. So I got up on Sunday and I hurt so bad. Like I couldn't move. My back hurt so bad. I had a headache. Like I was nauseated. Like I just felt like garbage on Sunday. So I couldn't like do much on Sunday. And I'm feeling fine now. So it must have just been like dehydration and sleeping on not great bed and driving for 20 hours, that kind of a thing. And I'm not the spring chicken I once was. I know that I look young and youthful. But I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And I need to remember that when I decided to drive across the country. And then Monday I started my new job. So I am now the chair of my department at my university, which is really exciting, but also really frustrating. So I spent the first 2 days calling systems administrators throughout the university to get access to the systems I need to do my job. I need like 10 different systems. A couple of them talk to each other, like 3 talk to each other. The other ones are completely separate entities. Like everyone has a completely different system that allows me to do a tiny portion of my job. But I have to like log in with different logins. I have to I can't just, they don't talk to each other. I have to upload things or like get reports from 4 different places for the same thing because none of these departments talk to each other. It is so inefficient. I don't know how anything ever gets done at my university, but it now makes sense why things get lost all the time. Like, things get lost all the time at my university. When you send something out to somebody, it just like disappears. It's like a black hole. I'm starting to understand why. So I need to learn these systems. I still have more systems that I have to get into, but they're not emergencies. So I'm going to wait a bit. It's just like, anyway, it's been a lot. This week was a lot. And it was funny because I was thinking yesterday, I need to call. My stepmom had some surgery. And so I was thinking, I need to call my stepmom, see how she's doing. I haven't talked to her in a couple weeks. And I'm like, no, I literally saw her a week ago. Like I was at her house a week ago yesterday. This week has been like the longest year. And my sense of time's already messed up because of COVID and like isolation and stuff. So it's just been a lot. But I think I got a lot of good stuff done. I'm excited about the job. I'm hopeful. So thank you all. I know a lot of you messaged me and checked in with me, and I appreciate that so much. Texted me. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Wednesday, I was really upset with and frustrated with how things were going. But Wednesday night, Rich and I were having dinner, and I'm like, you know what? I just need to chill out. I get myself in a tizzy. I get all frustrated, and then I'm in like this frustration loop where even little things frustrate me. And then it adds to like this bigger thing of frustration. So I kind of snapped out of that when I had, I'm good at like self-soothing, right? Like babies self-soothe. I'm good at self-soothing. And so I was able to kind of talk myself out of this like angry frustration. So I'm feeling much better now. And I was feeling better Thursday and Friday. So anyone who contacted me Monday through Wednesday, I'm sorry if I was really grumpy. I was feeling really grumpy, but I'm not feeling as grumpy now. And I mean, we have 3 brand new students in our department this week, which is great. We're a very small department, so that's fantastic for us. And I'm just feeling more positive, although I did find out today that I don't have access to something I need access to, so I got to do that on Monday. I don't know. It's just, I think it'll be really good. I think I'll be good at the job. I just have to learn how to do everything. And I need to learn where everything is. I think it'll be fine. So that is my update. That's my life update on my new job. I did get some new tops. So I do plan on doing outfits of the day sometimes. But last semester, I only went into the office 2 days a week because I only taught 2 days a week. And then I worked from home the rest of the time. But going forward, I'm probably going to be in the office 4 or 5 days a week. So I won't be bombarding you with an outfit of the day every day. But if I look especially cute, you'll be getting outfits of the day on Instagram if you're interested. And I am almost at an hour. I was worried that this is going to be really long. I'm almost at an hour. I will be cutting some things out, so it won't be quite an hour. but it's long enough. So I will talk to you all later. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd love if you liked this video or left a comment, especially if you want to help me with my various stitchy issues. That would be awesome. Floss drops or even weave, you know, those two stitchy issues. I'll leave a comment down below, but it helps the algorithm if you kind of like watch and like and comment on videos. So that's why I leave emojis for people. So if I don't have anything to say, but I want to show that I was there in support and help your algorithm, that's why I leave emojis, just emojis. So that it's not me being rude. It's me, I don't have anything to say, or I'm in the middle of a serious confetti stitching moment and anyway, I'm just babbling. I just missed you all so much. It's so nice to chat with you. Thanks for joining me. Have a good week. I'll talk to you next week. Please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.